In this video, we'll take a detailed look at how the most common type of clutch works, the friction clutch. We'll explain the function of each component so you can clearly understand how the entire mechanism operates. Finally, we'll examine the different actuation systems and how they work. The clutch allows the transmission of the engine's rotation to the wheels to be engaged or interrupted. In a vehicle, it is located between the engine and the gearbox. The driver controls this interruption using the clutch pedal. The friction clutch transmits the engine's rotation using a friction disc, which is the most important component of the mechanism. For now, simply imagine it as a solid piece with a high coefficient of friction. When the clutch is fully assembled, the disc is pressed firmly against the crankshaft flywheel. This friction locks the disc to the engine's rotation. The disc is directly connected to the gearbox input shaft, as you can see. As a result, the mechanism already transmits the engine's rotation to the wheels. The other half of the clutch is responsible for pressing the disc and releasing it when necessary. This assembly is known as the pressure plate assembly, and it is directly attached to the flywheel. It consists mainly of three components: the housing, the diaphragm spring, and the pressure plate. The diaphragm spring is a disc spring that generates the force needed to press the pressure plate. The pressure plate is located between the diaphragm spring and the disc. One side is pressed by the diaphragm spring, and the other side presses against the friction disc. The housing supports the entire pressure plate assembly and attaches it to the flywheel. Notice that when the clutch is engaged, the disc is pressed against the engine on both sides, like a sandwich. One side rubs against the crankshaft flywheel and the other against the pressure plate. Now let's see what happens if we release the pressure from the diaphragm spring and the pressure plate no longer presses against the disc. Notice that the pressure plate continues rotating with the flywheel, while the clutch disc and gearbox remain stationary. At this point, it becomes clear that if we want to transmit the engine's rotation to the wheels, the clutch disc must be pressed firmly against the flywheel. And to interrupt the transmission, we simply release this pressure. Our mechanism can press the pressure plate, but how do we release the pressure on the clutch disc? The answer lies in the geometry of the diaphragm spring. If we push the centre of the diaphragm spring inward, the outer edges deform outward, like this. This force is applied by a thrust bearing, which can apply force while rotating together with the diaphragm spring. When this happens, the diaphragm spring stops pushing the pressure plate against the clutch disc. These return springs inside the housing pull the pressure plate backward. The clutch disc is no longer pressed, so the gearbox becomes disengaged from the engine. Notice that the way the disc engages with the gearbox allows it to move axially along the shaft. When the pressure on the centre of the diaphragm spring is released, the pressure plate returns to its position against the disc, restoring the transmission of rotation. Observe how the entire mechanism works together. Now let's look at the actuation system. This system transmits the action of the clutch pedal, applied by the driver, to the diaphragm spring. The most commonly used system today is hydraulic actuation. A master cylinder located at the pedal converts the mechanical movement of the pedal into hydraulic pressure in an incompressible fluid. This pressure is transmitted to a component called the slave cylinder. The slave cylinder converts the hydraulic pressure back into mechanical motion. A release fork receives force from the slave cylinder and presses the release bearing against the diaphragm spring. In this way, the clutch is actuated directly by the driver's pedal. A more modern design, widely used but rarely discussed, is the concentric slave cylinder. In this configuration, the slave cylinder, the release fork and the release bearing are integrated into a single unit. Observe what happens when the master cylinder actuates this component. Earlier, I asked you to imagine the disc as a single solid piece. In reality, it is made of several components riveted together, which function as a single assembly. The gearbox input shaft splines engage with the hub, which is a separate component of the clutch disc. The disc transmits rotation to the hub through these springs. This design helps dampen engine vibrations, transmitting a smoother and more stable rotation to the gearbox. These are the friction linings. They are responsible for generating friction with the flywheel and the pressure plate. In vehicles where comfort is a priority, damping elements are incorporated between the two friction linings to achieve smoother and quieter engagement. For this purpose, corrugated plates are used, which act elastically along the axial direction. This animation simplifies how these dampers behave during clutch engagement. And that's how a clutch works. See you in the next video.